Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And yeah, I might go out on a limb here. I know we have had a lot of really good news days. In fact, so many news days this past 12 months that we're all just scratching our head wondering why the price isn't moving. But today, I'm going to tell you, I feel like this is the best news day ever. And it is all when I woke up this morning and saw on my Twitter feed the Bank XRP link to the MoneyGram Report Second Quarter 2019 financial results. Wow. So it's not just that MoneyGram was able to restructure their debt. That was looming over their head, of course, a lot of money due in March 2020. And it's not about just the liability, some of the liability of the pension liability they were able to unload. No, it was all about the talk that they gave in regards to the partnership with Ripple. XRP is now live and it is transacting. And Alex Holmes, the CEO, he said that it is tremendously beneficial in terms of all parties involved. They are literally settling currencies in seconds. And one of his employees even went as far as saying it is really cool. It is going to help improve their core strengths. Yeah, this is going to totally put them back on the path of profitability. DLT, blockchain, and crypto is going to also look very different because they are creating a new business model for the future. And I think that Sam I Am from To the Lifeboats YouTube channel put it together. So first of all, I want to be sure that you know that they have the highest app rating in the industry. 50 million people utilize their MoneyGram platform now on an annual basis. And with that mobile device combined with their new website design, they can compete with any fintech or legacy competitor. They are up in digital transactions 109% and 50% up in revenue for their app and web combination. They're live in 24 countries now, and they are rolling out as they go with this new digital strategy. And don't forget that Visa is also going to do cross-border market remittances with them, and that will go live later this month. This is a huge potential for them to transform their business, and it's going to transform Ripple's business too. I'm telling you that in this audio, you're going to hear some very surprising things, and I think Sam did maybe the best job in showing us that there is going to be a new wholesale global FX with the moving of hundreds of millions of dollars for them. This is going to allow a brand new revenue opportunity. The first 20 minutes was just a red presentation, and then came the questions. And the following question was the first to come from Barclays, where Ripple, they were asked, with the Ripple partnership, how much are you actually going to save? Well, that back end settlement, there is a ton of efficiency, but because of the confidentialities that have been signed, he just can't say exactly. He did say that they were able to move money into Mexico at just a minute and 13 seconds. And Q3 is going to be building gradually. We'll probably see the impact for this moving forward in Q4. And because of, again, the confidentialities, they can't share the corridors. So he was very, very careful. But here is where it got really, really interesting. It is that Ripple built something unique for them, something that's never been done before. And this is, I think this is just unbelievably exciting. So they have what looks like a live FX platform. That was how he described it. They can see all the different rates, all right? And when they see a rate that they are interested in, or they think they can make money in, they can lock that in. and then they can execute the trade. So should they want to, and that is where they're going to make money. So Sam really did put it together. I have no doubts that this is what is going to happen. They get that confirmation back in a minute, and then just a few minutes later, the money is there. He said it's remarkable. So at the 54-minute mark in that audio by MoneyGram, they say time, cash flow, settlement flow, the improvements to liquidity is second to none. We're super excited about it. So I then, started to think, well, okay, so they've definitely have this new revenue stream, and I think they're going to be the first in the world to actually do this. It is going to be so exciting for XRP, for Ripple, and for MoneyGram. But, if they are using this FX platform type like user interface, that means that they are using market makers out there. They have to be, because they're not holding all those currencies. They're still on that part of shopping for the best rates. And as you know, market makers in this space all compete against each other to provide the lowest price to get those transactions across their books. So let me just show you something that is very interesting here. I don't think it's a coincidence that Mr. Yoshitaka Kitao from SBI was put on the board of Ripple just a couple of weeks back. And I will explain, because he has a long-term relationship with MoneyGram going back, way back. This is actually a renewed agreement that they did back in 2015, and MoneyGram said that they would be a key milestone to their Asian business. So we know that MoneyGram and SBI have been working closely for a long time, and we know that SBI, and Mr. Kitao especially, loves liquidity. He started a SBI liquidity market back in November 2008, and you have to wonder, well, what are they actually doing? Well, they are providing that liquidity for the US dollar, the euro, the Great British Pound, the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the Canadian dollar, and the Singapore dollar, as well as they just added the Russian ruble and the Brazilian real. He is the king of liquidity. And I'm not kidding you on that, because when you see what they had in the presentation given on April 2019, they, for the SBI liquidity market performance, significantly increased to achieve record highs. It had a record high in operating revenue, a record high in operating income before allocation, a record high in operating income, a record high in profit before income tax expense, and a record high in net income. And I also want to share with you, this is the most recent presentation, and it is said that SBI Group global deployment of its FX business, they are proactively incorporating the overseas FX trading liquidity into the group, and they will endeavor to establish the world's most liquid OTC market. And how are they going to do that? They have their BYFX in Hong Kong, and here is the one I really want you to pay attention to, the BYFX in the Cayman Islands. The business just recently started, and it was then the liquidity market was put under the umbrella of SBI Securities, as well as their FX trade. And if you remember, SBI VC Trade was also, just in the last couple of weeks, put under the SBI Securities umbrella. And sure enough, when you go to the SBI VC website, you can see here that they are providing unbelievable. I want to show you this. This is just unbelievable. They are doing 0 transaction fees. So the transaction fee for VC Trade Pro is free. There is no fee for maker or taker. And that liquidity supply is from a MM, a market maker. So in VC in VC Trade Pro are designated market maker. It's very often referred to as a DMM. So their designated market maker always supplies liquidity to continuously provide trading opportunities. So I know that when you are in the market of purchasing any sort of asset out there, so in this case, it's a digital asset, if you are not going to charge a maker or a taker fee, well, gosh, how does that financially make sense? I just don't understand how you can do that. Well, take a look at this. This is the BYFX Global, and this is a SBI Group member company, and it was just on August 2018 that the BYFX Global Company Limited was granted full securities investment business license by the CIMA to act as a market maker. So if you are in the market of liquidity and you're not going to go to another provider out there, if you have one under your umbrella of companies, of course you're going to play off that synergy. This is the ecosystem that Mr. Kitao has been talking about. And he did say in his last presentation that he's very close to realizing his vision and his dream. He has put all of these positioned together so that they can have that incredible synergy. And on top of that, we've got the agreement with Visa and MoneyGram. They're going to team up for cross-border payments. And I want to show you this. The initial phase includes 2 priority corridors, U.S. to Mexico and the U.S. to Philippines. Those are the 2 corridors that are publicly revealed as XRP corridors right now. Obviously, XRP is going to have a play in this Visa and MoneyGram team up for cross-border payments. It's huge. It's just huge, everybody. And if you don't think that they are going to be sourcing a lot of that liquidity, of course they have options. Remember, the market makers all compete against themselves in trying to provide the lowest price to get that transaction across their book. So we know that, I'm sure MoneyGram, using that special interface that Ripple has built them, is going to be able to look at all those rates out there. But I can sure tell you that the king of liquidity is going to be very competitive and be, I'm sure, one of the choices in this whole big, huge play. It's amazing, everybody. It's just amazing. So I am going to jump to the fluff, and that is with this little saying. It's an idiom in Japanese, and let me tell you what it says. It says, Inonaka no kawazu, taikai wo shirazu, and it translates to, a frog in the well cannot see the great ocean. And I think there have been so many XRP holders that have been this frog in the well, and the only thing they have been looking at is the price. And I can tell you that it's time to crawl out of that well, have a look at the view, because the ocean is vast and there is a big blue ocean when it comes to this new business model for MoneyGram. And I think XRP is, what can I say? I think that if you're just focusing on price, you have been a frog that hasn't crawled up the well wall yet, and it's time to do it. All right, everybody, if you want a copy of this idiom in Japanese kanji, I will send it to you in a high-resolution digital file. As I always do, all you need to do is contact me on the backside of Twitter as a DM. Just say, I want the frog image or the kanji frog image, and I will send it to you. And you can put it on a mug, you can put it on a t-shirt. I recommend that if you start to focus too much just on the price, that you print it out on a piece of paper and put it up somewhere in the house where you can see it often, because there is a lot going on and it's going to be amazing. I'm really happy for this video, and do see Sam's video as well, because yeah, he does it like nobody else does. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.